Saturday, noon o'clock, Kentucky at Louisville. That's right. It's the Louisville Cardinals who are chasing greatness. They are trying to keep it alive. They've got that loss to Pitt, so they're not undefeated, but they're trying to keep their season alive and take care of their rival in the Kentucky Stoops, right? So Louisville is favored by 6.5 points in this game. They just came off of a really good win against Miami, because that was one of the weird games where Miami actually played well, right? That doesn't happen every week, but Louisville was dealt that card and they played it and they won the hand. So they stay with only one loss. The one loss being a horrible one to Pitt earlier this year, due to some turnovers in that game. Louisville's favored by 7. Over under 50.5 for this game. Uh, I really, really like the matchup of the passing offense for Louisville versus this Kentucky secondary.
Mhm.
This Kentucky secondary has struggled ever since we saw Kentucky play Georgia. I feel like that film got out there and just every team has diced them up ever since. And look, Alabama's a good team, and I'm not trying to like talk trash or whatever, but Jalen Milroe tore this team up through the air, and I don't consider him to be a prolific passer necessarily. And I don't think you'd have to go far to find somebody to agree with that. But um, yards per game offensively, they're 27th in the country. Rushing yards per game, 26th in the country at 186. Passing yards per game, 242. That's 46 in the country. And then points per game, 33.2. That is 27th in the country. Stark turnaround for Louisville, as their coach comes back to his alma mater and has really turned things around and got this team in good shape. Um, I'm looking for Jack Plummer to put this game on his back. I think Mississippi State. What am I thinking? Kentucky, I think, is going to load the box up. I think they're going to dare Louisville to run it, and um, I don't think Louisville's going to do it. I think they're going to just go ahead and try to throw over the crowded box, and I think they can have success doing that. But it's going to be on Jack Plummer's shoulders. Um, Jamari Thrash has been injured. I don't know what his status is at this point. Have you heard anything about Thrash, Mason?
I don't. They're pretty tight-lipped on it. He's day to day game time decision. It'll be that
Hmm.
that sort of
Sure,
coach speak.
sure didn't look anywhere close to 100% last week,
Hmm.
as he had 1 reception and 7 yards. Um, Jack Plummer, on the other hand, last week was 24 of 37 for 308. He did throw 1 interception, but had 3 touchdowns against what is a good Miami defense. You can say what you want. Miami's had some oops moments this year, but they played a good game last week, and Jack Plummer played a very good game last week. There is kind of a look ahead spot here for Louisville, though. I must say. I mean, this is a rivalry game, so I wouldn't think there'd be a look ahead. But I mean, Louisville's not used to going and playing for championship games, Mason. I mean, this is not um, it's not exactly title town in Louisville. So I'm interested to see how they respond to being a favorite and not having to have this game necessarily to still go to that ACC championship game. Um, are they going to be just happy to be there, or are they going all in? Because this Louisville team with one loss, although it is a horrible loss, things could happen this Saturday that could place them in the college football playoff with a win over Florida State here in a couple weeks. And we all know what happened to Jordan Travis. I think the door is wide open. What do you think about this matchup? The Fighting Mark Stoops against the Bird with Teeth.
Yeah, and the Governor's Cup, right? Which I think is just a
The
stupid
Governor.
name. I hate that name.
You said it wrong. Governor.
The Governor's Cup. Uh, Again, hate the name. I'm renaming this the Bourbon. I'm going to rename this in Kentucky. I think it's more fitting if we call it the Bourbon Bowl, and it has more of a ring to it too.
Damn, that's good.
That sounds really good, right? And I'm a big whiskey connoisseur, so it makes sense for me.
We've
So,
said it time and time again. We need to be in charge of things like that,
yep,
bowl games. What do we do? That's really good. The Bourbon
yeah,
Bowl.
yeah. I like that too. It took me a while to come up with it, but no.
You thought a lot
um,
about it.
Thought a lot about it. Had to drink a lot of bourbon while I thought about it. But all right. So look, we covered Louisville last week for their game against Miami, and I think a lot of those points remain the same. And it's kind of shocking how like similar this matchup is with Kentucky in a lot of ways. You know, Louisville is a top 25 team in almost every offensive and defensive category except for passing offense and passing defense. So can Kentucky take advantage of Louisville's lackluster passing defense? I don't know. It seems like we've been waiting on Devin Leary and Kentucky's passing attack to get going all season long, and it really just hasn't happened. I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately for Kentucky fans. On top of that, the rushing attack for Kentucky has been on a steady decline ever since they rushed for over 300 yards against Florida. At the time that was eye opening, and everybody in college football was like, "Man, Georgia better watch out," because Kentucky had to face Georgia that next week. But
That was a long time ago.
that was so long ago. But as it turns out, Florida is just really bad at stopping the run. They had a few weeks up to that point where they looked like they had a really good defense, but
No, not the
we've come
Florida Gators.
we've come to find out that the Gators are pretty bad on defense, and it's specifically at stopping the run. Defensively, Kentucky is kind of like Louisville in that they are built to stop the run, but there are holes in the passing defense. And you mentioned it, Mark. I agree with you. I think that Louisville is better positioned to take advantage of the weak secondary than Kentucky is to take advantage of them. Kentucky doesn't have the weapons. They don't have a Thrash, which I do think he will play. I looked at a recent injury status in this game, and I don't see him listed as even questionable. So I think there's a good chance that he's playing in this game. To what degree, we don't know. But I think having him in the game, even if he's at 75%, is enough for Louisville to be able to get it done this week. I'm not going to overthink this one too much. Give me Louisville 27, Kentucky 20. For let's see, that's a total of 47. The under would hit in that case, and I think that feels right to me. I don't think that this game gets to 50 overall, and I think it is pretty close. So I wouldn't bet that spread at 6.5. But I like the underplay.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, it's no secret what Kentucky wants to do. They want to run the football. Louisville is set up to defend that. And while Kentucky is very good at defending the run themselves, as far as ranks in the country, I definitely think that Louisville has got the advantage as far as throwing the ball over the top, and they've got the weapons. Kevin Coleman had a good game last week. I suspect that him and Chris Bell will be able to step up as Jamari Thrash is. We saw it. We know he's not 100%. What is he? Is he 90? Is he 95? We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, last week it was clearly a distraction, him being on the field, because it did not stop this passing offense for hitting 300 yards when they needed to do it against Miami. So I'm with you. Let's don't overthink this thing, man. Give me the Louisville Cardinals, and Louisville Cardinals fans. If you're watching this, hit subscribe. We've been talking Louisville football for the last few weeks, and you haven't even been here. So we want you to come over and join us, join our community, and drop your score prediction into the comment section, and we would love to read it on the show and check that out on Sunday. And thank you so much for watching.